Hello to all astrology enthusiasts. In this video, I want to discuss the transit of the Sun through the zodiac sign Taurus for all horoscope representatives for the 12 zodiac signs, and how the energies of the Sun in Taurus will manifest and influence our lives, how to ground them, and how to use them to our advantage. Aries. The transit of the Sun in Taurus occurs in your second house of the horoscope, and it activates for you the theme of personal value, personal identity, the theme of finances, resources, and stability, both external and internal. This is a time for you when your focus shifts from the active actions that are characteristic of you to the need to consolidate, slow down, stabilize what already exists. And here, situations will arise that will require a conscious approach to money, self-respect, and new ways of earning. Here, there may be an opportunity to increase income through new sources, a pay raise, or a reassessment of your skills. Situations may arise where you will need to protect your resources, for example, or set personal boundaries, not agreeing to less, knowing that you deserve more. In relationships, this may manifest through material issues, such as budget division, discussing joint expenses and income. Or there may be a feeling, for example, that you are being undervalued. In business, it's an opportunity to move to a new level of earnings. If you feel that the value of your work is much higher and does not match the current pay, and if there is an internal, so to speak, self-importance, the Sun will highlight weak spots, creating situations of unfair pay, for example, or shortages. And to ground the energy of the Sun in Taurus, it is important for you, first of all, to take care of your body. This can include slow walks, massages, yoga, and contact with nature. It is very important to keep track of expenses and income and to create a system in this area. Work on self-esteem. See and acknowledge your achievements. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Engage in something material. Cooking, working with clay, gardening, textiles, because Taurus is responsible for agriculture and territories. A physical, grounded sign, and this will help us feel our worth, precisely through results. Well, we need to focus on practical, long-term steps rather than spurts, specifically in the context of sustainability and financial stability. That is, this transit provides an opportunity to learn to live not for the future, but with a sense of sufficiency and abundance, to develop confidence in one's ability to provide for oneself and to value one's efforts. Well, I wish you success. See you. Taurus, the Sun is moving through your sign, and this transit is taking place in your first house. Horoscopes for you. Begin here with such a personal solar cycle, a moment of reset, renewal, and returning to oneself. The Sun in your sign illuminates everything related to your identity, your personality, appearance, personal decisions, and the overall sense of I. Life here will push you to assert yourself, to stand out brightly and confidently. Situations may arise where you need to take center stage, take the initiative, defend some personal desires, or simply start acting on your own behalf. It's important to listen to your body here. It becomes a very sensitive indicator that will tell you what is yours and what is not. A time when you might want to, so to speak, get rid of others' expectations, shed some old roles, and return to or focus on the question, who am I now? Who do I want to be? How do I present myself in this world? What do I really want? You might also feel like changing your image, wardrobe, and communication style, hairstyle, anything related to appearance. Undergo some beauty or relaxation procedures. All of this will be relevant because this is your sign. This is your first house, and this is your true essence. Here, any new beginnings are possible, which require your personal involvement and will. This could be business, projects, a new position, important conversations, personal relationships, or changes in lifestyle. And to ground this energy, it is important, of course, to pay attention to your body. This could include comfortable clothing, a wardrobe change, a new style, natural textures, mekan, skin care, relaxation, or procedures like aromatherapy. It's important to do something for yourself without considering others. And this could simply be a day of silence, a day of delicious food. Here you should walk more regularly, have meals, or, for example, perform some self-care rituals. In general, allow yourself to be slow but confident and grounded. This is not about speed, it's more about stability. Engage in activities that bring a sense of solidity. You can work in the garden, engage in some creativity, do something with your hands, specifically in a physical sense. And the sun in your sign in the first house gives you the opportunity to shine. That is, not to dazzle, but to radiate warmth, confidence, and a stable attractiveness towards those around you. And I wish you to use the energies positively. See you. Gemini, the transit of the sun in the zodiac sign Taurus affects your 12th house of the horoscope. And here the sun illuminates your hidden internal deep layers of life. What is usually not visible has a very strong influence on us from within. It's a time for completing some global life cycle, summing up on and preparing for a new stage that will begin when the sun moves into your sign, Gemini, and enters your first house of the horoscope. This will happen next month. Meanwhile, life here may create situations where you feel the need to be in solitude, to retreat within yourself, to take a break from external activities, so to speak, to recover and prepare. And perhaps you will want to close some old matters, old relationships. Even if it concerns the secrecy of some relationships, it is very beneficial here to forgive, let go, conclude, and resolve any misunderstandings or any conflict situations. There may be dreams, symbolic signs, or insights. Intuition works very well, considering that the sun illuminates us. Here, there is heightened intuition and increased sensitivity to the moods of other people. Situations will arise where you need to take care of your emotional state. Perhaps more rest will be needed to get rid of fatigue, or some behind the scenes. Yes, secret events or intrigues that were hidden from your eyes may come to light. And now all of this will come to the surface. It's also very beneficial to spend time in silence, engage in volunteering, embark on a solo journey, delve into psychotherapy if it's relevant for you, or practice meditation and yoga. All of this works very well in the 12th house, and the sun will illuminate here. Moreover, the sun in Taurus wants us to ground ourselves, to slow down, so to speak, and to be stable. Therefore, it's the perfect time to focus on yourself, actually, and to take breaks. That is, to listen to the silence, meditate, sleep more, and cleanse both physical and psychological spaces. Finish, let go, cleanse, and get rid of any clutter. Perhaps limit information flows. Fewer contacts, fewer conversations, and more, so to speak, going deeper, engaging in creativity and solitude, drawing, making music, writing. Precisely, for the sake of the process, so that this energy is grounded so that it benefits you. Listen to your body, undoubtedly. If your body says stop, then you need to rest now. You simply need to, for example, get enough sleep and do some pleasant rituals for yourself, for instance. This could be a salt bath, a massage, walks in nature, near water. This includes working with aromas, for example. All of this will give you the opportunity to recharge consciously, and it's very beneficial to be in the position of an observer and acceptance of everything that happens. Well, I wish you success. See you. Cancers, the transit of the Sun in Taurus occurs in your 11th house of the horoscope, and the energy of this transit focuses you on friendship, social connections, collective activities, and future plans. In other words, a period opens up for you when you will be seeking your place in the sun, so to speak, in a large circle of people. There may be situations where you will need to present yourself as part of a group or create a new network of social contacts, support, and new acquaintances. The theme of desires and ambitions will also come to the forefront, and you might feel the urge to work more on what exactly you want to achieve in the long term. It's a good time to refresh your social circle or find people who can become your allies, like-minded individuals, and provide an opportunity to showcase your leadership potential in some collective, yes, projects, events, cultural activities. The Sun in the 11th house always creates situations where we need to reassess our role in the group and understand how much our desires and values align with those of the people around us. There might be a desire to participate in large projects, to be active in social life, or to take part in events that are specifically related to the public good. This includes volunteering and various charitable events. It's a time when very important realizations about what you want in the future will come, and it's good to reassess your ambitions, to clearly define your long-term goals. And in order to ground the energy of the Sun in Taurus in your 11th house, it's important to listen to your true desires, not to chase after others' standards, and to choose what truly aligns with your nature. Pay attention to friends and loved ones, while also setting personal boundaries and not losing yourself in others' needs, so to speak. Work on creating, for example, a social network or a new circle of acquaintances. Or if these are some online projects, then special attention should be paid to this, and spend quality time with people who inspire you, who bring new ideas, and who will help you reach a new level, especially in the social aspect. And various hobbies, ideas, cultural events, all of this will be relevant during this transit. The Sun activates precisely this group energy in your life and will provide opportunities for new beginnings, new acquaintances, new activities in everyday life. Well, I wish you success. See you. Lions. The Sun in Taurus is transiting through your 10th house of the horoscope, opening up a period for you when your attention will be focused on your career, your professional ambitions, your social status, and overall future goals. Additionally, the 10th house is responsible for official marriage, and this is a time when your personal identity and your ability to assert yourself will manifest specifically through career achievements, recognition, and successes in the professional sphere. There may be situations where you will need to, let's say, showcase yourself to others and take on leadership positions. And it is very important here to be as honest as possible in the context of professional goals and ambitions. The theme of status, and public recognition becomes especially important during this transit for you. You may feel the desire to step into the spotlight, showcase yourself, and make an important statement about your achievements. Here, situations will arise where you will need to demonstrate this leadership potential, take responsibility for your actions, or engage in planning your future. In relationships, for example, with colleagues, management, or subordinates, there will be a need to express your ambitions, aspirations, and expectations. You will constantly face questions of responsibility, professionalism, your social role, and status. And this is a time when you can advance in these areas of whole life and will achieve a higher status. But in order to ground the energy of this transit, it is important not to forget about rest, to maintain a balance between career and personal life, and to set or achieve ambitions that are realistic and attainable, specifically in professional self-realization, and to focus on demonstrating your leadership qualities. Well, in principle, if we are talking about official relationships in the 10th house, then perhaps it is time to take responsibility and elevate some relationships to a higher quality level. For example, getting married. In general, the sun in your 10th house will activate this leader energy, who is capable of being resilient, able to lead them, inspire others, and at the same time maintain their integrity, true motivation, and commitment to their professional ambitions. This will all relate to your professional life, your reputation, your image, and official marital relationships. Well, I wish you success. See you. Virgos. The sun in Taurus is transiting through your 9th house of the horoscope, marking a period when your focus shifts to knowledge, spiritual quests, broadening horizons, and your worldview, as well as communication with people from other cultures and countries, that is, with foreigners. The energy of the sun in your 9th house, especially in the sign of Taurus, will encourage you to broaden your worldview, for example, through long-distance travel. This is a time when you will feel a special need for acquiring new information, new knowledge, learning and traveling, everything that expands you intellectually. Here, you need to immerse yourself in new ideas and concepts, perhaps study a foreign language. Learn about the cultures and traditions of other countries and people, and build new communications with people from abroad. These can be both personal relationships and business interactions. Moreover, the sun here will create situations for you where you will want to and strive to express yourself through knowledge and personal experience. There will be new acquaintances, especially on an international level. Well, you can also engage in teaching activities, write books, articles, or perhaps create some intellectual projects. To ground this energy, definitely engage practically in these areas of life. Implement or realize your theoretical knowledge in real life. Go on a long journey, engage in teaching activities. Maybe it's blogging or working with books. Spend more time in nature, travel, explore new places, new cultures. And what's important here? It's important to maintain such openness to new ideas, concepts, any new information that comes into your life, and intellectually nurtures you, broadens your perspective on life. And in this way, this energy will be grounded and work to your advantage. Well, I wish you success. See you. Libra. The sun in Taurus is transiting through your 8th house of the horoscope. Here, the sun highlights and activates themes of personal deep transformations, changes, and personal crises. Financial matters, especially if they are other people's finances, to which you have access and can manage, as well as themes of personal relationships, sexuality, and intimate connections. The eighth house is associated with what lies beyond the visible. And here the sun will illuminate. It will reveal some hidden or suppressed aspects of life. The eighth house also governs esotericism. And all of this will be highlighted, come to the surface and be realized. And this is a time when you may encounter situations that require deep changes from you, both in terms of finances, personal relationships, and personal transformations. The issues will concern joint finances, debts, inheritance, payments, some benefits, and loans. And you can also work very well on psychological, particularly close relationships, especially if it concerns the intimate side of life. The sun here in the eighth house can create situations where you feel these changes in deep. More precisely, the need for such deep changes, whether it's some financial transformations or something related to your emotions, fears, or psychological blocks. And you will desire a new level of understanding, a new level of confidence. Well, in order to ground the energies of this transit, of course, you need to work, especially with this internal and external, what is happening in the context of your personality. Engage in self-development, conduct psychological and emotional work. Perhaps seek psychotherapy, maybe conduct some meditations, study some secret information, acquire new knowledge, and apply all of this while letting go of something from the past. Here in general, you are very good at resolving any conflicts and engaging in such deep, honest conversations that will transform your personal relationships and will change you internally. It is very important to pay attention to the topic of intimacy and trust in personal relationships. And in general, the sun in your eighth house, also in Taurus, means that besides needing to slow down, observe, and adopt a position of an observer, you will need to immerse yourself in deep transformation processes. It will show you where to let go of old structures, experiences, emotions, and make room for something new. And in addition, it's very important to pay attention to financial and personal resources. And as I mentioned, relationship topics. Well, I wish you success. See you. Scorpios. The transit of the sun in Taurus is moving through your seventh house of the horoscope, opening up a period for you with an emphasis on your relationships. These can be any kind: business partnerships, personal relationships, marriages, alliances, client relationships, and even interactions with your enemies. And here, the theme is about what role you play in interactions with other people. The seventh house is generally associated with interpersonal connections, and the sun here will sort of illuminate, will provide situations related to the need for balance and harmony specifically, in these personal business interactions, in any relationships at all. The transit of the sun in Taurus itself wants us to slow down, and it calls us to become aware of our partnership potential, so to speak. Whether it be in love, friendship, the professional sphere, business partnerships upon or interactions, during this transit, you need to focus on cooperation, negotiations, and resolving any conflicts. The sun in the seventh house will create situations for you where you need to express your individuality, specifically in the context of partnership or relationships, and determine to what extent your relationship support your personal goals and values. Issues of balance in relationships will be very relevant, as well as equality and mutual understanding. This is also a time to reassess all your relationships and understand which ones to keep and develop and which ones, on the contrary, to end. Perhaps they are toxic and need to be ended. And to ground the energy of this transit, it is useful to consciously look at your relationships, actively listen to partners, identify hidden needs in partnerships, work on a healthy balance between you and others, and avoid situations where You are excessively giving, or conversely, excessively receiving some kind of support. Apply diplomacy in resolving conflict situations. Be as honest and tactful as possible in any interactions. Pay attention to personal boundaries in relationships and communicate your expectations and those of your partners in interactions. This applies to absolutely any sphere, not just personal or marital. And spend more time with close people. Strengthen trusting relationships and provide more support to your partners. Well, I wish you success. See you. Sagittarius, the sun in Taurus is moving through your 6th house of the horoscope, opening up a period for you that more activates themes of work, health, daily routine, and generally caring for other people and pets. In general, the 6th house is associated with daily activities and health issues, as well as matters of supporting our physical and emotional well-being. The sun here will highlight what to pay attention to and will create situations where you will feel the need to organize your life, establish some new habits, new systems, start exercising, or introduce a new type of diet, perhaps some diets or some habits. A time when your attention will be focused specifically on practical matters, including improving your health and increasing productivity at work. This is a very good time to resolve any conflicts with colleagues or management. The sun in the 6th house always creates situations where we need to set priorities and bring order to our lives. And here, questions of efficiency and achieving goals through daily systematic efforts, self-care, and taking care of your body will become important, whether it pertains to the work sphere. A time when you need to pay attention to your physical condition, perhaps start a new workout routine, improve something in your daily life, optimize something, or simply rest more. You will need to demonstrate your organizational skills, streamline certain work processes, establish better interactions with colleagues, and resolve issues with management, possibly concerning professional reputation and achievements. And to ground the energy of this transit, it is important to create structure and establish a system in daily tasks and routine. Plan your tasks in a way that avoids overload, aiming instead for joy and satisfaction from the work completed. Certainly pay attention to your health, or focus on your pets, or monitor your sleep, rest, nutrition, and physical activity. It is also beneficial to work on improving your professional skills, either by upgrading your qualifications or learning new work methods. Here, it is essential to practice a mindful approach to routine. You can also use some breathing techniques or meditation to relieve stress. This topic is also relevant in our 6th house. And pay attention to your everyday life in general. Organize, give some structure, show self-discipline, find that balance in life, and use the energy to your advantage. Well, I wish you success. See you. Capricorns. The transit of the sun in Taurus is moving through your 5th house of the horoscope, and here it opens up a period of active creativity, active self-expression, themes of love, romantic relationships, pleasure, and interaction with your children. The 5th house is associated with the joys of life, entertainment, creative projects, romantic relationships, and flirting. The sun in this house kind of brings your desires, ambitions, and your drive for pleasure and entertainment to the forefront, giving you an increased need for creative self-expression. For you, this is a time when you will feel a strong desire to express yourself, in personal projects, to engage in something that brings you joy and pleasure. You might either want to devote more attention to children or immerse yourself in romantic relationships and give more attention to partners. Here, the sun in your 5th house will create situations where you need to focus on these moments of creative impulses, either by engaging in hobbies or interests, or by wanting to express gestures of love in romantic relationships. The energy will be focused specifically on pleasures, on enjoyment, so to speak, on delight. And to ground the energy of this transit, of course, you need to pay attention to your creative abilities. You can engage in art, music, or design. Any projects that showcase your creativity, your individuality, or investing in entertainment, pleasures, and relaxation. It is very beneficial to establish a balance between work and rest, to pay attention to romantic relationships, certainly to show more care and attention to your partner, to create conditions, an atmosphere and space for joy and fun in relationships, to be attentive in interactions with children, and to pay more attention to their desires, needs, moments of joy, and moments of creativity, and engage in activities that bring you more joy. I wish you success. Aquarius, the transit of the sun in Taurus occurs in your 4th house of the horoscope and marks a period when your attention will be focused on home, family, personal relationships, relationships with parents, family roots, so to speak, as well as the topic of moving, either buying property, selling property, or the topic of changing residence, for example, to another country. The 4th house is associated with what you consider your home, in both a physical and psychological sense. This is a time when you will feel a special need to care for your loved ones, relatives, or parents, and you will want to strengthen your home relationships or create a cozy atmosphere in the house. Very deep emotions may emerge, which are specifically related to family lineage and family history, because the sun here will illuminate something, highlight something to show us. And the sun in your 4th house will create situations where you need to focus on themes of stability, security, and working with emotional blocks, specifically in the context of relationships with household members and close relatives. Either these are real estate issues, or you will want to retreat and relax at home, or update and improve your living space. This is a good time to resolve any misunderstandings or conflicts with parents, a marital partner, or close relatives, and to reassess your family foundations and sources of stability in life, right? All of this will be relevant because, after all, it's Taurus. And to ground the energy of this transit, it's beneficial to create a cozy atmosphere at home, in your space, update the interior, perhaps relax more, maybe engage in renovations, pay attention to loved ones, relatives, parents. Spend more time together. Yes, with close people, and build a deep emotional connection. Strengthen relationships. Well, and if, for example, you are facing situations related to changing your place of residence, moving, this also needs to be implemented in order to use this energy to your advantage. I wish you success. See you. Pisces. The transit of the sun in Taurus occurs in your 3rd house of the horoscope and opens up a period for you when your focus will be on communication, a large amount of information, learning, interaction with siblings, and short trips. That is a lot of traveling, but specifically in the area where you live. The 3rd house is associated with everyday interactions and the transmission of information. And here, the interaction is specifically with such a close environment. The sun here will activate your mental and intellectual potential, will activate the need to exchange ideas, develop some intellectual skills, study something, maybe even a foreign language. There is a strong desire to express your thoughts, share your ideas, impression, and expand your social circle. many new acquaintances. There may be sales income because the third house also governs such commercial activities. And the sun here will generally create situations where you need to focus on communication, actively discuss, actively learn, and improve your qualifications. A very good period to absorb information, gain new knowledge, improve communication skills, correspond, build business contacts, personal contacts, engage in short trips, travel, and communicate more with brothers and sisters. And in order to ground the energy of this transit in the third house, it is very important to actively develop these flows of information and immerse yourself in them, participate personally, or speak publicly, either learn, write texts, read books, blogs, any social, yes, some informational projects, spend more time communicating, interact with those around you, strengthen your relationships, definitely engage in learning, and definitely listen actively in communication to understand others more deeply. And by the way, use short trips or business trips to break out of the routine, change the scenery, and gain new impressions. All of this will expand you. The sun in your third house will give you the opportunity to showcase your intellectual abilities, develop communication skills, expand your circle, and make it more lively and diverse. And share knowledge, share ideas, thoughts, and broaden your horizons by learning new information using gadgets and technologies. All of this in the third house will very effectively ground the energy. I wish you success. Subscribe, like, share this video, and see you soon. Bye-bye.